There's a lot of interesting debate to be had about video game difficulty. What makes fair and unfair gameplay? Why are some easy games fun? Where do you draw the line between logical problem solving and cryptic unfair bullshit? Why do some hard games make you feel frustrated every time you have to restart, while others are enjoyable even if you're dying over and over again? Why are some really easy games still mechanically interesting as heck? First, it's worth noting that the difficulty of a game is very subjective. In a game like La Mulana, some players might get into the train of thought of the developers quite easily, while others will find some of the puzzles utterly insane. One of the strangest YouTube reviews of a Klonoa game I've seen was the one by Cinemassacre's Mike Matei, where he actually found the game to be really hard, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out why, especially since the dude is far from terrible at 2D platformers. Nonetheless, there is usually going to be some kind of general consensus on what is and isn't logical and intuitive, and that's where focus testing helps. This can be a huge issue for indie developers though, who absolutely can't afford a huge team of testers. This is why I find well-balanced difficulty in indie games to be particularly impressive. Edmund Macmillan tried to answer the question of frustration in games by cutting out the element of punishment for dying, trying to remove the need to replay the same area over and over again. Levels are short, and when you die you get instantly teleported to the beginning of the stage. The game even makes dying over and over again feel rewarding by the end by showing you a replay of all your runs at the same time. There's something really cool about seeing all the little meat boys scurrying over to the exit, all but one plunging to their deaths. While this is very ingenious and well done, it's become a bit of a platitude to claim that the Super Meat Boy method is the good designer's way to avoid frustration over dying in games, and that things like life systems and making the player go back to the beginning of the level or even the game is inherently bad and simply a dated thing carried over from the dark ages of unfair coin-munching arcade games. Putting it simply, this is complete nonsense. Even to this day, arcade-style design is not unique to the arcades, nor should it be. If done well, it can make for some of the most carefully crafted, addictive gaming experiences out there. It's not boring to have to replay levels in a short, difficult, score-based shoot-'em-up as long as there is mechanical depth that allows you to keep improving your run of the level. Even if it's pretty easy, a high-level player's run of a shmup's first level will be very different from that of a beginner. Players who have learned the patterns of a boss enemy will be able to just get in their face and make the battle far shorter, earning them a time bonus. A game like Deathsmiles will let you pick your route and vary your item pickups, along with letting you choose which levels will be hard and which levels will be easy to tailor your experience to your playstyle. God Hand is a fantastic example of a game that's hard yet always a blast to play no matter how much you're getting your shit ruined. And to this day, my go-to example of the sheer freedom the game's combat offers you is YouTube user Saurian's video response to the IGN review. Even with your initial moveset, the game would still have a lot of ways to play that you can experiment with at any time, but the huge amount of unlockable moves and your ability to string them together in any order you like creates a game where you always feel in control and not like you're simply going by the Simon Says motion set up by the developers. When I first played God Hand when I was like 14, I spent perhaps 3 hours just dying over and over again at the beginning trying to get used to the unique playstyle and controls, and I loved every minute of it. Speaking of God Hand, another thing that can make things more manageable is dynamic difficulty. A bunch of games have done it, from Resident Evil 4 to obscure Steam indies like Mecha Ritz. My overall point here is that the key to keeping the player engaged during moment-to-moment gameplay is offering them the freedom to experiment with their approach and to create their own variety. This works the other way around too. A game that's so easy a dumb baby could beat it can be a great time for everyone if it gives you a variety of ways to make it through its simple obstacle courses. Digibro's video about what makes Kirby fun was interesting and well spoken, but I feel that it missed the core of what makes Kirby so great, the huge amount of variety. Kirby's Adventure may have started things off well enough, but its gameplay style absolutely peaked in Superstar on the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo DS. The latter version is the one I'm playing here. Not only do you have a bajillion enemy abilities to choose from in this game, you also get multiple attacks per ability, which gives you a ton of different ways to navigate the levels and dispatch the enemy. This kind of player-created variety can even extend to JRPGs. A game like Final Fantasy V isn't very hard, but it's a game that allows you to heavily customize your experience and create your very own approach to combat, even allowing you to make the pure and innocent girl into a fighter or the male protagonist into a healer, and then you can also switch jobs on the fly. Then there's something like Pokemon, which is all about customization. The ability to make up your very own team and create your own strategies is a huge part of why this series is so popular with young and old alike, along with Back to Kirby Christ Superstar. Thanks to its punchy animations, sounds, and overpowering mechanics, this dumb baby game manages to make you feel like a badass more than a lot of gory and quote-unquote mature games. Add to this the partner feature that allows you to turn regular enemies into allies, and no matter how many times you play Blade or Spring Breeze, it'll still be a different experience if you wanted to. One of the most memorable experiences I had with this game was playing through Meta Knight's Revenge, trying to keep my yo-yo partner alive all the way through, and it was actually a little sad to see him go. That's right, Kirby Superstar is a game where memorable experiences can be player-created, as opposed to simply pre-packaged by the developers. Not to say pre-packaged moments are bad, in fact Kirby can easily have both because it's just that good. I guess the point of this whole video is that Kirby is fucking badass, and he's also the first video game character to be shown kissing another man on screen. Kirby offered an example and saved the lives of many, many queer children, and this is very important.